NewsNation media contributor Steve Krakauer joins us now. Good morning, Steve. How are you feeling this morning?
Good morning. It's a historic morning.
That's right. Well, you've written extensively about coverage of this trial. What do you make of the media's reaction to this verdict?
Well, I think it's to be expected, and I think if you're a betting person putting odds on the verdict in Las Vegas or on your sports betting app, this does not come as a surprise. I think the average American who is not covering the ins and outs, political junkie, and frankly, that's most Americans, may look at these front pages, may look at the news and say, "Oh, wow. This is a huge deal." But as has been reported by many legal experts and political experts, as soon as the jury was placed in a New York City courtroom, this was sort of to be expected. So I think what we have is a couple things happening. First of all, we knew that this verdict was likely, and we also didn't have cameras in the courtroom. So people couldn't necessarily watch this trial themselves, couldn't see the ins and outs. I think that there were lots of questions about what this trial was even about. Frankly, we still don't really know exactly what Donald Trump was found guilty of. So there's that aspect of it, and that won't get covered by the large swath of the media that likes to just plop a big guilty headline on the cover. The other thing that happens, though, is on the other end of the spectrum, because Donald Trump's fans, whether it's on X, on Truth Social, on other social media platforms, are really riding this guilty verdict on the other direction. You know, the website crashed for donations, and so we're seeing these two different scenarios play out in real time. And I do think that this story is going to drive the rest of the election cycle, now becomes a political story over these next few months.
Well, I'm going to let you, because you're here on NewsNation, talk about how important a cable network like NewsNation is during these pivotal moments in American history when, during these last 6 weeks, if you were watching left-wing media, you were expecting this. If you were watching right-wing media, you're continuing to say this is a sham, and perhaps you're losing faith even more in the justice system. How important do you think NewsNation plays a role in all this today?
Yeah, look, I think that the mission of NewsNation to deliver objective, fair, reality-based coverage that's not, pundits screaming at each other, and is really getting to the heart of what actually this story is about. And I think also the mission of attracting an audience that is in the large, maybe middle of the country, but really just anyone can tune in and find out what's going on. That is so important on stories like this, because yes, there are stories that are not covered at all that NewsNation covers, which is great. But then there are stories that are just everywhere, that are wallpaper, just across cable news. And it's so much that no one really understands the nuance and the intricacies of what actually it's about. And that is frankly what's happened on social media as well. Social media is driving that, because it is just, you talk about 24-hour news cycle, there's like a 2-second news cycle now. And then all of a sudden people move on to the next thing. No, American people care about what actually is taking place, want to understand it when it comes to the important issues. And I think that there's a huge role for objective news coverage when it comes to places like NewsNation to really understand what this is about and how it affects the day-to-day life of an American in this country. So yeah, look, this is going to be an important story for months to come, and it does relate to the election. I think it's very important to have a place like NewsNation.
And as both candidates try to court their voters, I really hope that we'll see a Biden and a Trump one-on-one with an anchor from NewsNation, because they need to court those middle-of-the-road voters in those swing states in particular. Steve Krakauer, thank you so much for your analysis today.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.